These are some psychology tricks used by individuals to influence others. This video will help you recognize them. Lying by omission. This is a very subtle form of lying by withholding a significant amount of the truth. It is usually used in debates or arguments when the listener does not have enough time to verify the whole story. Nodding hypnosis. Nodding your head while asking a question will make the other person more inclined to agree with you. Keeping eye contact. Eye contact makes people think you respect them and that you're confident. If you are not comfortable making eye contact, try to guess the eye color of the person you're talking to, or simply look at their upper nose. Confidence master. Most people can't tell the difference between being skillful and simply being confident. If you seem confident, people will tend to think you know what you're doing. Statistically speaking, you will also be able to perform better when acting confident than if you are feeling stressed. Eye language. The eyes sometimes give clues as to what a person could be thinking. The direction of the eyes can show which part of their brain they are accessing. Looking upwards to the left or right can mean they're visualizing. I can imagine the big picture. Looking to the side can mean accessing the auditory. Let's tone down the discussion. Looking down to the right can mean accessing the kinesthetic. To grasp a concept or to gather you've understood. Looking down to the left can signify an auditory internal dialogue, talking to one's inner self. Anchoring effect. People make decisions that rely heavily on the first piece of information they get. Companies take advantage of that by showing you the original price of an item, then the discounted price. The original price influences your decision because it makes you feel you got a bargain. Random numbers. If someone is counting and you want to mess up their count, don't say random numbers. Instead, say numbers in order because we tend to pay more attention to patterns and sequences. Excitement is contagious. If you react to seeing someone in a very cheerful and excited way, next time they are more likely to do the same. Self-point. This technique involves pointing toward yourself in conversation as a way of covertly pairing yourself with desirable traits. For example, whenever mentioning these words, awesome, friendly, great, or whatever positive traits you want to pair yourself with in different contexts, tap your chest or the product lightly while saying those. Away point. This technique involves pointing away from oneself during a conversation in order to emphasize traits that you do not want to be associated with. Choice-framed request. If you want to do something while still making them feel they have a choice, ask them to choose between a hard and an easier choice. The easier choice is what you had in mind in the first place. I need your help. If you need a favor, start with, I need your help. You are invoking two things when doing that. One, the person asked does not want to be a jerk for not helping. Two, it boosts the self-image of the person as being needed and a provider of relief or help. Creating a vacuum. If you expect a better answer from someone than what they just gave you, remain silent and keep eye contact with them. They usually will elaborate or make concessions. Whisper hypnosis. If you want something done and done quickly, whisper it to the person you're asking it from. For some reason, just the act of whispering gives the request an urgency and discreetness. Building trust. If you want to make someone trust you, take something from them. It doesn't matter how small it is. Once a thing passes from their hands to yours, their brain registers it as an investment in you. People tend to trust their investments, which is you in this case. Winning debates. In a debate, you should present your argument as well as your opponent's argument. You're more likely to be convincing if you talk about the opposing idea and give evidence how it is wrong, instead of only talking about your side of the story. People tend to think that if you are familiar with the opposing idea and you are still against it, then you must have a good reason for doing so. Keep the fractions. Numbers seem more convincing when they are not rounded. For example, 3.25 or 3.85 seems more legitimate than 3 or 4 when you are trying to convince someone about some statistics or review. Go big. People are more likely to agree to a smaller favor if they deny a larger one or two first. So asking someone to donate $100 for a cause and they say no will likely make them donate $5 at best. Similarly, instead of asking someone whether they want to volunteer or not, they could be asked whether they want to volunteer 5 or 10 hours. That leaves the option of not volunteering out of the question. The latter is called the assumptive clause. Creating scarcity. People value things that are scarce more than abundantly available items. This is why advertisers use the tricks, while supplies last, only 2 items left in stock, and offer ends soon. Rule of authority. People tend to believe or obey those who are considered to have a higher authority. When someone appears to have authority, special knowledge, impressive credentials, or plain old confidence, they are typically seen as more credible, and therefore have more power over directing the attitudes and behavior of others. There are several ways to convey authority. Job titles: president, police officer, science doctor. Through clothing, uniform, white lab coats, business suits, or even accessories, hats, expensive watches, and more. Rule of reciprocity. If someone does something for you, you're more likely to want to do something for them. That's why salespeople sometimes offer free gadgets and then try to get you to buy their product. Presuppositions. To persuade people, make statements that assume the listener agrees with you and wants to do what you want them to do. For example, the customer has not chosen a product yet. A simple question would be, do you need more information about the product before you choose it? The words "before you choose it" are added to presuppose the person will choose the product. Pacing and leading. This technique starts with making statements that are true, so the listener will automatically agree with you. This is called pacing. After pacing, the person can then more easily be led in the direction that you wish, because they were primed to already agree with you. Vanishing negative. Use an ambiguous statement to override someone's negative answer and get them to side with you. For instance, you need someone to volunteer in a library. You say, "Do you like reading books?" Them, "Not really." You, "I sense you're a person who loves education and appreciates knowledge." So even though the person said they don't like reading, you didn't dwell on that too much. Asking the right question. You get better results when asking a customer an open-ended question instead of a yes-no question. For example, "Why don't you get that product?" instead of "Do you want that product?" Embedded commands. This method can subtly entice some highly suggestible customers by putting commands into your sentences in discreet ways. That way they will slip past the thinking mind and impact the unconscious mind. For example, a sales agent may say, "You don't have to buy my product, but if you do, you will be getting the following benefits." The middle of the sentence hides the trick. By saying, "Buy my product," even if it is preceded by "you don't have to," the customer will hear that phrase and envision buying the product. Another trick used is, "Buy now, product A is used by thousands of people." The phrase, "buy now," might be subconsciously understood as "buy now." Daily cost clause. Breaking down the cost of a product to focus on the smaller amounts it would cost per day or per month makes a product seem more affordable. For example, a laptop would cost $2,200 if paid over 2 years. Could be changed to, "This laptop could only cost you $3 per day. That's less than the price of 1 bag of chips." Rethink stress. Many physical effects of stress are the same as those of exhilaration, such as heavy breathing, fast heart rate. If you reframe your threatening situation as a challenging one, your stress will become exhilaration. Aversive conditioning. Pair something bad with an unwanted behavior, such as overeating or smoking, to trick yourself into avoiding it. For example, some people wear a rubber band on their wrist and smack the rubber band on the wrist when they want to do something bad. The pain is paired with the unwanted behavior, which helps them stop doing it. Sleeper effect. Sometimes an incredible statement is made by a low credibility source. People may dismiss the statement as being bogus or fake. However, later that statement starts to gain credibility because people only remember the message, not how credible it was. Laughing attraction. When a group of people laugh, they instinctively look towards the members they feel closest to or who they admire most. Next time, check out who is looking at you when laughing in a group. Building likability. When asking a person for a favor and getting that favor, you are training their brain that they like you, even if the favor is very small. Similarly, before asking for a big favor, ask for a very small one. People tend to think of themselves as consistent and are more likely to help you a second time. Do you know any other psychological tricks not listed here? Please comment. For more educational videos, please subscribe to our channel. If you think these are some interesting tricks, please share with your friends.